I would love for them to say that they saw something that nobody else, other than these 2 days and these 6 shows, will ever get to see. This is something that we created, and I was telling Teacher Jess today. It's like homemade cookies. It might not look as perfect as like Chips Ahoy, but it's not supposed to, or homemade pottery or something like that. I mean, there's something to it that makes it just much more human and much more attractive and hopefully tasty and sounds good. Just to put all the ingredients together, and it certainly wasn't just the adults that did it. The majority of it, the whole script was written by kids, and I think that a lot of people don't realize that. So I'm glad that I'm saying it in this video. This was a 100% homemade ICS show.
Each year, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders from the Independence Charter School Musical Theater Department present a live show for the whole ICS community. Our last performance was in February of 2020, right before COVID-19 impacted our lives forever. In 2022, we returned to an in-person learning at school. We wondered, how will we return to live performance again after so long? We decided to create an original cabaret that could hold space for the many things we were thinking and feeling. We chose music from the musical theater and from our parents' playlist. We chose music that reminded us of reuniting after such a long time apart. We called our cabaret Better Together.
I'm Teacher Jess. I directed the show, which means that I helped make the stage pictures come to life and help make the story clear and keep the actors and designers motivated and invested in their storytelling.
So I am Craig Waxman, better known at ICS as Teacher Craig, and I'm the general music teacher here. Somewhere between 6 and 7 years, I think I've been here, and this is probably like the 4th or 5th musical that I've done at ICS, and it's definitely the highlight of my year, and this year more so because it's been a while since we did it, at least 2 years.
I'm Teacher Tracy, and I guess I'm the producer. I am the one that pulls all the elements together and hires the videographer and the choreographer and the director. I'm also the head kid wrangler, I think. So we all have so many different roles. Jess sometimes calls me the stage manager. I don't know. We all kind of fit together like a puzzle and help one another out and know what needs to be done, and we do it.
My name is Caitlin Green, and I did the choreography for Faith, Seasons of Love, and my own drum for the ICS school musical.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a very democratic process when we do any show, but especially one that we create on our own. It took weeks and weeks for us to throw out songs and vote on them and decide, which one would make the cut. And I think it's an amazing way to do it, and everyone got their favorites. I say with great pride that it was my choice. The song Opportunity, which is from the Annie movie in 2014, which has never been made into like a stage musical. So it's really a rarely performed song. I've watched the movie like 100 times, either with my kids or whatever, and there's just something about the song that's hard to describe. It's just the melody and the way it's written, and then to hear Adele and Marley knock it out of the park the way they do, just made this whole year worth it.
What I'm most excited about for tomorrow's show is Faith, because I've been wanting to do like a solo in the play for like a long time, and it's my first year, and I've been wishing that I could be in the play since I was like in 1st grade.
I'm most excited for probably either Seasons or Mountain, because Seasons, I think it's like a calm song and I like it. And Mountain, I have a solo in it. They call it a solo, but I sing it with 3 other people, so I'm excited.
Which song am I most excited for? I would say my own drum, because I get to do a lot of stuff in that.
The song that I am most excited for tomorrow is my own drum.
I'm most excited to see. Ooh, that's hard. I guess I would say Faith because it's everybody's in it. So all of the dancers are in that number. For both drum and Seasons of Love, there are smaller groups that we worked with. So I'm just really excited to see how the entire group synchronizes together and works together on stage. And that dance is also the first dance that we did together. So it's their strongest, I feel like, and it's the one that they can like really let go and have more fun with. And really focus on stage presence and performing and enjoying it because they don't have to think so much about the steps at this point in the game.
I'm most excited about coming back to the theater because it's been a long time. It's like last time I performed when I was in 5th grade. I'm in 7th now, so I hope everybody has a good time at the show.
The songs that I was looking forward to performing is On Drum because On Drum is like it's from the movie Vivo, and most kids like that song. Like the little kids, they like the song when it like comes on and stuff. So I'm like happy to like show the little kids and then like all the crazy stuff that I do on On Drum.
I'm really excited for Faith and In a Mountain High Enough. I really like those songs and I listen to them a lot out of school and the play.
I really like them all. Writing down the story is really close to my heart because I'm an English language arts teacher, and I think that it's really, really like when kids reflect through writing, when they get their hearts down on the page, and I feel like that's what that song is about. So that one's a special one to me.
The songs I'm most excited for are My Own Drum, which is happening right now, and Opportunity because I'm in it and it's fun.
¿Cuál actuación tengo más ganas de ver? Es My Own Drums, por la energía, por el movimiento que hay en el escenario. Me encanta verlos tocando los instrumentos, las banderas, todo el movimiento que hay y la fuerza, la energía que se siente entre las chicas que cantan y el cuerpo de baile es como es algo tan espectacular.
Opportunity. Well, the one that I'm most excited for is Opportunity. Marley and Adele are so good. Like, they can sing so good. Like, it's like the best.
My own drum! I'm a loud human being, and so I come from a rock and roll background. That's what I love. So I like my stuff loud. So I really do love that song because we get it in and we really get to express ourselves in a loud way. On the soft side of life, though, I also really like Seasons of Love. I remember singing that when I was a senior in high school, and there's a lot of emotions around that song, so I could be quiet and loud.
I think I'm most excited to like see my friends' reaction because my friends will be like the 5th graders will be seeing it at the end of the day on Thursday, and I'm excited to see what they thought about it.
I think I'm excited about their new friendships. Like I see 5th graders making friends with 7th graders, and that will continue. Like when we come back in September, they'll see one another in the halls, and that will be fun for them. Like they start to form a community together, and then the program will start to build back. I just heard today that the kindergartners are now so excited to be 5th graders so that they can be in the show. I like that there's something you look forward to when you hit middle school at ICS, that you get to be in the show.
I have two. My Own Drum and Opportunity, because those are amazing songs.
I'd say probably the audition was probably the hardest, but I mean, because like I had to sing in front of my teachers, which is kind of awkward, but yeah.
Toughest challenge, I would say like first time coming in here, which was yesterday. Like getting actually on stage and like seeing a lot of people that aren't in the songs and like just sitting there, like I got kind of nervous. So yeah.
I was one of the stage managers that came to every single rehearsal, so I guess like me missing a lot of my free time, and I guess like kind of sometimes messing up spots and placements and everything was bit of a struggle because people would be like, where am I? And I'd be like, I don't know. Even though it's kind of my job, but for the most part, I did good with it. I'm not even gonna lie. And it's really hot in here, so I'm like full on sweating because it's like so hot. It's like 100 degrees in this theater. Probably the most challenging part had to be getting in, like coming to rehearsal on time, because sometimes we had rehearsal for really long and it was like, oh my god, and balancing that with homework and stuff.
Para mí, ¿qué parte del proceso fue lo más difícil o un desafío? Cuando alguno de nuestros estudiantes era diagnosticado con COVID, cuando hubo un tiempo que tuvimos que parar de ensayar, de practicar. El desafío fue si nuestros estudiantes iban a continuar con esa llamarada, con esa energía. Y lo hicieron. Fue un desafío reorganizar los horarios, reorganizar cómo nos íbamos a reunir, pero finalmente lo logramos.
What it was is that me having to like wear my mask and like me having to like wrap all this stuff versus last time I didn't have as much things and we didn't have to do it with masks on. So I had to like try and do my best with my mask on and try to keep my breathing like in sync.
The most challenging obstacle, I would say believing in the process. I would say it was challenging because we're back from COVID. So we haven't been in the theater for 2 years. That's a big deal. School this year was a big deal. Removing our masks and being able to express ourselves with our voice, that's a big deal that requires a lot of vulnerability and a lot of heart. So building that as a community was the biggest but also the most important thing. And then also the air conditioning in the theater broke, and that's not nothing. But yeah, just really getting the community back together after this huge traumatic thing that happened. That's the work of this piece.
Leading up to the show, I would say the biggest obstacle we had to overcome was COVID and that COVID absences. And we were set to go in February, and we had 2 weeks in the theater where we could have knocked out a lot of these problems we're having this week because we would have had more time in the theater. And so that was really disappointing to us to have to shut down in February during that Omicron surge. So I would say it was COVID. And kids being absent and other kids trying, it just is hard to put the puzzle together when there's pieces missing. And I think that was hard.
This thing called COVID. Unofficially, I would say that 2 days ago was the first day that everyone in the show attended school at the same time. So we had this huge spike in December. There was a huge spike about a month ago, and you know it's still a big part of our lives. So to do the show and to get through that, I mean, perseverance is the word. That if this show isn't called Better Together, it's called Perseverance. I'm just so proud of everyone for doing it. Like, just totally mind blown.
That was cool. Like, also the lights and stuff, and like to remember their favorite part.
I think that the fans will experience a lot of emotions, excitement, all of those around like happiness.
I think they're gonna tell them that it was a good show if everybody does what they're supposed to do and no plan. That's what I think they're gonna tell them.
Who's that girl? Like, oh my gosh, did she just go out there and do that? Like, oh my gosh, you did so good. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And they better hype up everyone when they see them again. That's a definite thing.
La responsabilidad que tuvo cada uno de los estudiantes en montar este show, en hacer los diálogos, en los movimientos en la escena, todo el trabajo que hicimos nosotros como equipo, pintar cada material que tuvo la escena, y creo que la audiencia creo que va a sentirlo, va a sentirlo, va a sentir esa hermandad, va a sentir ese trabajo en equipo, va a sentir el amor con el que se montó todo el show.
I hope that they saw that the kids were having fun and that the kids love each other and that they were taking care of each other and that they were creative and mature and responsible. Like that they knew when to come out and they did it, and because it really was their show. The adults help put it together, but once it's on, the kids are doing it and they're reminding one another what to do and where's this mic and don't forget this. And I don't know if the audience can see all that behind the stage, but I hope that they can see the connections that the kids are making.
I think that they're gonna be really like surprised and amazed because like this obviously isn't anything like a Broadway like show, but this is like really amazing, and I think that people will see that and like they'll get emotional and they'll enjoy it. Yeah.
I think when they walk away, they're gonna say, "Oh my gosh, that was so good! Like that was amazing."
How do I want the audience and the attendees to feel and to take away from the show? I want them to be like, they did this during COVID? Like, they did all this during COVID? They made it happen? You know, I think that they'll be surprised at how much we've been able to accomplish despite all of the chaos.
I kind of want them to go back and tell everybody, like, oh, that show was really good. And I feel like they're going to go back and tell everybody it was really hot in that theater. I feel like they're going to be like, that theater was hot. But I guess I just want them to hype up the cabaret so other people are excited to see it. Yeah, basically.
And like, well, this is like not like the typical play that ICS puts on. Like it's usually like a storytelling one, and like it's way different. So they're probably like, oh, they've never seen this before, and this is real nice.
I want them to think about this year. I want them to think about ICS. I want them to think about moments that were really big and also moments that were really small. I want my young people to think that they can write down their story and that it matters when you write down your story, whatever that means, whether that's blogging or putting it out on social media or good old-fashioned writing. Yeah, I want them to walk away with that. And the real show is backstage. Like the thing that really, like I'm process over product really. The thing that makes me the most happy is seeing people make friends. Seriously, I feel like theater is like the vehicle that gets to the real heart of the thing, which is 5th graders being friends with 7th graders and 8th graders and 6th graders and all this cross-pollinating of friendship. Storytellers need other storytellers. So like when I see kids putting their head on their shoulder backstage, when I see kids singing the songs that aren't theirs, when I see kids rooting each other on, that's it. That is like that's why we do this. That's why we live for this. That's why the theater, the show, the fanciness, the lights, that's like gravy. But the real thing, honestly, is like theater people need other theater people. We need to build our friendships. So that's been happening everywhere.